Assalamu alaikum. In this lecture, we will discuss conditional sentences type 2. So previously we talked about conditional sentences type 1, in which we were using present indefinite tense with if clause and future will with the main clause. Now we would be talking about conditional sentences type 2. Okay, so let's see what are the examples and what is the structure. Okay, let's see the examples. Rachel says, "Would you like some cake, Jessica?" Jessica says, "No thanks. If I eat cake, I will get fat." Rachel, "But it's delicious." Jessica, "It looks delicious. If I had your figure, I'd eat the whole lot." Okay, so we see now we have two examples here. If I ate cake, I would get fat. All right, then there's another examples. If I had your figure, I would eat the whole lot. So here are situations which are more imaginary or unreal situations. So she hasn't eaten the cake yet. She says, "If I ate the cake." So it is her imagination. Okay, and then if I had your figure. Now she's asking, telling Rachel that if I had your figure. So that is again unreal and not possible situation. So we use, from this we can see that we are using conditional type 2 when we are talking about imaginary or hypothetical situations. Okay, now in that case we would see the structure. If I ate cake, I would get fat. So if clause would be past simple. In type 1s and conditionals, we saw that the if clause was present simple. Okay, and the main clause had will. Now when we are talking about type 2 conditional sentences, we would see the if clause is in past simple and the main clause is would. Okay, so here are some more examples. The two examples we already discussed. The third example is, if we didn't have a car, okay, we would find it difficult to get about. Now is the situation that we have a car. Now we are talking about a hypothetical situation that if we didn't have a car, okay. Now he says, if we didn't have a car, we would find it difficult to get about. Okay, note the phrasal verbs, get about. Okay, just remember these phrasal verbs as well. I'll ask you in the class to make sure you watch the video or not. Now the next example is, if Rachel got up earlier, she wouldn't always be late. So if clause is again past simple, if she got up earlier, and the main clause is would, and it's a negative. Okay, so here the if clause was negative. Now here the main clause is negative. So we can use either cases, but if clause would be in past and the main clause would be would. Note the simple past simple 8. We do not use would in the if clause, but we can use would in the if clause when we make a request. So it's in the previous sentence, conditional tense, when we were talking about type 1, we were saying it for will. Okay, we would use will in if clause. Now here we would say would for if clause. As well as the past simple, we can use the past continuous in the if clause. Okay, again the same rules would apply. Previously, as we were using present continuous and present perfect in if clause, now we can use past continuous in if clause. Okay, so here are some examples for you to follow up. I hope the main idea is clear from the lecture 1 of conditional sentences. So now you can follow the same rules, but what you have to remember is that now in type 2 sentences, we are talking about situations which are hypothetical, unreal, which can be possible but are highly unlikely to be happening. okay, because they are hypothetical. In type 1, we had a real life situation in which we were using it. That was a present context that we were using. Now in part 2 conditional, we are talking about hypothetical situations which are unreal, and we would also use unless instead of if. Okay, so we would say if something happens or unless something happens. Okay, now there is a comparison between type 1 and type 2. This is important. Let's do this. Compare these two sentences. Type 1. If you have a lie down, you will feel better. Now this is again a phrase, lie down. Note this down. Okay, now there's this type 2 sentence. If I had £1,000,000. Now this is an unreal situation. If I had £1,000,000, I would probably buy a bed yacht. Okay, so in the type 1 sentence, we will see there is present tense and then there is the use of will. Okay, now in type 2, we have past here, and I would probably buy a yacht. Okay, so now here we can compare the two situations. The first one is more real in nature. It's a situation in context. If you lie down, you feel better. Now the second structure, type 2, it is hypothetical in nature, and we would say if I had £1,000,000, I'd probably buy a yacht. So again, it is possible future action, and then there is £1,000,000 is an imaginary one. Okay, because आपके पास अभी £1,000,000 नहीं है, या आपका सिर्फ ख्याली पुलाव है. So that's it about the comparison between type 1 and type 2. Now here are some exercises. You can take some screenshot, or if you have the book, do these exercises and you can put your answers in the comment section, or you can bring them in the class and we will discuss. Now this is an exercise for comparison between type 1 and type 2. Try to do that. That's it for type 2 conditional sentences. Next class we will be talking about type 3 conditionals. Take care.